I did not watch that game back in 2019 because at that time I wasn't quite as invested.
Well. Did you really think you'd get away with this?
I had to shoot thunders. You think they could have at least restored my health? Like 3 attacks? Something like that? 2. 1, 2. Okay. I think it's still supposed to be 2. Could be somewhat random. Can't be it yet. Oh, okay. Alright, I did not expect 2 in a row. I know the warning was still going off, but I thought maybe it was just being a little delayed. Damn it. I got a little cute there. I thought maybe I was like, what if I could just find like a spot that just happens to be centered enough that I don't actually need to move? The thing I'm trying not to like overreact too much. Okay, game, not cool. How are you hitting me from that far away? Why? Oh. Please don't be a complete reset. Thank you. Interesting that it won't automatically put me back in there, by the way.
Going somewhere. The jig is up, Mr. Stanton.
Is it?
Like there are two of you.
Scooby?
Mother. It's Marcy.
Indeed, Fred. It seems Marcy was trying to frame Stanton, not Jed.
Marcy. But why?
Because I helped create Mubber, but you took all the credit for it. I thought that if I gave you a bad name, I could start up my own business.
Mr. Stanton, is this true?
Marcy, I didn't know you felt this way. You should have talked to me about it. Destroying the reputation of monstrous fright and magic would destroy Mubber. I'm sorry if I hurt you, Marcy. I'd like you to become a partner in the company. If you can forgive me, that is.
Yeah, I think I can do that.
Another mystery solved.
Are you coming, Shaggy?
Just making myself something for the road. I call it a mubber witch. What gives?
Now that's what I call a light snack.
All 39 clues found. That. Probably in the 50s, I want to say, on the food. Yeah. 98% completion. I'm assuming that I would have, like, I don't know if there's like a chapter select or world select. Alright. Frank Welker, pretty sure that is the guy who's always voiced him. Yeah, Adam West. My friend was right. That person did lots of lots of work, voicing like what, 3-4 different characters there. Same with Fred Tescour. It's a fun game. Probably like a little on the short side, and considering I don't think there's any other like things to do in here. Artificial mind and Montreal, Canada. This is a Canadian developer that made this. Damn, that's cool. The game is definitely very fun and enjoyable, and I kind of want to say maybe the least frustrating out of the 3 games. I remember having some moments with the Night of 100 Frights, I want to say. And Mystery Mayhem I think had a few moments too, frustration, but like I've said, out of the 3, or with like these 3 games, kind of like, I'm just repeating myself, but in my opinion, the trifecta of Scooby Doo games, I think they are the best. That, and I mean, I say this having not played outside of these 3 now, but I do kind of feel like they are the best 3, or if I was going to recommend which ones to buy, at least it would be these 3. They generally seem to be the most well-liked from people. Granted, Mystery Mayhem is more so my personal take. I don't think it's as well-liked. It's funny because, like, I think most Scooby-Doo games are more platformer-esque kind of games, where Mystery Mayhem is... Would it be more action-adventure? Like some puzzle element, right? I don't think it's bad at all, and perhaps a little more in line with like what the TV series and movies are like about. I'm very welcoming of it. I think the music in this game too is pretty nice. I've talked on visuals. I think the art style is really nice, and I think it's a pretty good looking game for a late 6th gen game. My only problem being the draw distance or pop in is kind of bad for it. There are just times like where you like I saw the one like the main one I think of is like I saw the hole in the wall cave entrance or whatever. I was like, oh, okay, I'll jump over there, and I jumped over there, and there was actually a thing in front of it, but because the draw distance is kind of bad, like I was just spoiled, like I could just immediately see it. That's right, pretty close to Undone. About an hour left. Probably be a little over an hour 20. I had fun. Like the combat's very simple, very straightforward, but it works. I do think I mainly just wish this game was a little longer. Maybe like we start out and come back to the factory. I think if the factory actually had its own individual levels like all the other ones do, where you kind of have the hub area and then the level, where the factory is more of just a level, right? I think that would have been better and would have just added a little bit. Like maybe like when we first go there, we don't actually get to play any of the sub-levels, and you can kind of just treat the hub level as kind of getting a little used to stuff. But then when we come back there, we actually get to like have to go through everything, right? Andrew Nini. I don't know how that's pronounced. Yeah, kind of sad that, for as far as Scooby Doo games go, I don't have another one. I don't have plans to buy another one at this point in time. I know there's some handheld ones, but well, I guess if they're on the Game Boy, I could actually record them since I have the Game Boy player for the GameCube now. I'm not. Like, maybe I'll take a second look and see if there's any other ones I want to buy. But as it stands now, this is kind of the end of Scooby Doo games for the channel. Special thanks. I like how the names literally just pop up. Like, they're not like a smooth transition in. You can tell they literally just pop in there. Oh. And I get one more little. This looping. I don't think it's looping because we started out with voice cast before. I'm pretty sure. I'll let it go for a bit. I'll let it go for a little longer, but I. WBIED. Yeah, no, okay, it definitely didn't loop. I do think it's probably the least content filled out of the 3 games, it feels like. Like, it'll be interesting when I'm... Okay, now is it? Yeah, now it's definitely looping. Okay, Scooby Doo was done by Scott Ian, same with Shaggy, so they shared the same voice actor. I will go to the trailer first because movie tie-ins.
I can't wait to go trick-or-treating. Think of all the candy we'll get. Make this Halloween a real treat. Get what's new Scooby Doo Monster Mayhem.
Because it's not regular scary, it's Halloween scary.
Get 4 all-new spooky adventures from the hit TV show on DVD.
Ooh,
That's 1, 2, 3, 4 new super scary villains.
yikes!
So get a costume
Like I had no idea I was so handsome.
and grab your friends. It's time to trick or treat.
More candy!
Go bobbing for what's new Scooby Doo Monster Mayhem on DVD and have a very happy Halloween.
I'll be interested when I'm doing parts to see how many this ends up being. Hold on. Let me full screen these for you guys. What does it say? Skelters? I don't know. Skelt. I think both other games had something like this, or at least Night of 100 Frights I think had it. But again, it's really cool seeing the process that they go through to um making all the concept art and everything. And seeing like if they include like the final renders. This theme in here. Sound effect slam. Great, you found a trap piece. Congratulations, you found a new trap piece. Okay. These animatronics were built by MFM for a big budget martial arts movie, medium martial arts kicker hair whip. These capable martial artists will often evade low attacks, attack them from above, either with a bounce or a smash. These healthy animatronics were used in many martial arts films. Low toughness, low speed, high attack, martial arts, kicks, throwing star. Ninjas will often evade slides, rolls, and smash attacks, spin into them to keep them off balance. Chinese zombie. Okay. These hulking animatronics represent spirits from the underworld. Low, heroic toughness, speed, grand stomp, poison gas breath. Be careful to avoid these monsters' poison gas breath attack. Try rolling into them to avoid the shockwave of their stomp attack. Okay, so that was on purpose then. Zen 2. This villain won't attack you directly, but rather by controlling a huge dragon. Toughness very high, speed medium. Dragon breath. Only kung fu attacks will damage the dragon. Try using the Mega Strike for maximum effect. Incredibly strong, this type of animatronic could be used for a variety of tasks. Medium. Symbols crash. I might be butchering that. The pronunciation of those. Shockwave attack. Wait for them to do their shockwave attack, then slide or roll into them. These evil-looking robotic clowns are part of the Guitar Ghouls circus attraction. Medium-low. Mic bash, mic throw. Like juggling mics. Evade their microphones by jumping around, then spin attack, or smash them from above. These creepy walking suits of armor were produced by MFM for a fantasy epic. High-low. Gauntlet slap, grand stomp. The knights will sometimes use their shields to block frontal attacks, but they'll still be vulnerable to bounce and smash attacks. Oh, okay. These winged monsters are bipedal versions of the famous flying dinosaur, medium, beak snap, fire breath. These monsters will sometimes wrap themselves up in their wings to block high attacks. When they do, use slides and rolls to hit them. Okay, so there's actually ways to still hurt them when they're doing those. Yeah, see, like, this is what I mean. Like, there's only 3 worlds. And then there's, like, the 3 levels within the worlds. And the boss fight. It's a decent amount of content. I am curious, like, is this a type of game where if you actually want to get 100%, you need to start a fresh file? Oh, this is different. Oh yeah, here we go.
I'm too hungry to even move. Come on, Scooby. We have to find some food. I'm starving. Like, I think we've outdone ourselves this time, Scooby Doo.
Curious what happens if I go in. Yeah, okay. Oh, I see. I can just freely go outside. Alrighty. I think we have seen everything. I think Mystery Mayhem might still be my favorite, mainly just for nostalgia, and I would also say just the fact that it tried something different. I don't know how many of the Scooby Doo games are strictly like are platformers at heart, but I do think the fact that Mystery Mayhem wanted to be something else, like that they went down a different road and tried something different than what I think most Scooby Doo games are just defaulting to, which is like the platform, the collectathon platformer, right? Which, I mean, understandably at this time would have still been fairly popular thanks to Super Mario 64 and like Sunshine and stuff, but I think it was just probably an easy transition, and it makes a degree of sense for something like Scooby Doo. Probably just it's an easy genre to adapt to, and you know it's very kid friendly, very user friendly. I will say very general. I think it's easier to get into like a platformer than say a shooter or like maybe a racing game or something of that sort, right? Yeah, I am sorry that like again for taking Luigi's Mansion 3 off the plate this year. I just was feeling a little overwhelmed, and because I wasn't getting through things quite as fast as I wanted to. I just felt like I need to lighten the plate, and it kind of works out, and that next year will be the 25th anniversary of Luigi's Mansion, and while I won't be playing the original, I will, I can play the third game to kind of, as a way to celebrate the anniversary of the series. And I would also just add that I just quite wasn't feeling like wanting to do LM3. I think part of it is just I know it's a pretty chunky game. Like it's gonna take a little bit, So it's just felt like keeping it to a number of smaller games. Where I would say kind of my chunky Halloween game was doing Chronos: The New Dawn. That game was fairly chunky. So a lengthy one. So yeah, as for, I will probably upload some of these parts while DMC3 is also going up. DMC3, DMC5. 3's been up for a while now. And as for the end of this year, I already have kind of plans for next year, but seeing as we're only in early November, it's the first day of November, and we still got December, I have at least 2 games in mind that I'm gonna try and squeeze in for the end of this year. Probably more as individual games, because I am admittedly a little tired out from marathoning video game series. Because last year was like pretty much all Dead Space. I think I started that technically at the very end of 2022, but like most of 2023 was playing Dead Space, and then most of this year was playing Devil May Cry. And while there were some individual games in there at points for sure. Like I know I did Paper Mario. I know that was in there for last year with the remaster of A Thousand Year Door. I am just a little tuckered out from marathoning series, so I'm gonna try and do a little bit more individual games. Or if I do marathon a series, because I think I already said this at some point, I want to play Max Payne, and next year would be perfect because it is the 25th anniversary of that series next year. We'll see if we're getting those remasters of the first two games. I would think the plan was, the plan probably is, or either was or now is, to have those come out for the anniversary, so we'll see. But what makes that easier to go through is that it's only currently 3 games. And if there is, the remasters, we'll see if they're remakes, if they plan to change anything, if they try to enhance the story in any way or make some subtle gameplay changes, right? But at least it's only 3 games, which makes it a lot more bearable and not something like Dead Space where I mean, they're longer games. I'd say they're probably longer than the Max Payne games by default, just with the horror survival. You also had DLC campaigns in there. I wanted to do the co-op content for 3. I also ended up throwing in. Oh, you have the remake of the first game, and I ended up throwing the Wii game, Extraction in there, right? So when you add up all that, it's 5 different games plus I think 2 DLC campaigns in there. So, and like I said, pretty hefty games to begin with. Or going through the DMC games, it is 6 games with I think only the 1 DLC campaign in there. So I don't know why I really got into comparing, but again, just at least Max Payne will only be 3 games, so it will be a lot more manageable, and hopefully won't take up pretty much the whole year to get through. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling at this point. I'm not gonna spoil what games I'm looking to do for the end of this year. We'll see how. Hopefully, I can get to them kind of soon-ish. I know my next 2 weeks are at least going to be very busy at work, so I'm not entirely sure when I'll actually get to recording them. But they'll be some of the oldest games I've played in a while. I'm trying to think of even for this channel. And I'm hoping that they work at it, because I'll say this. One of them's an N64 game, and I have not recorded anything from my N64 basically since the first playthrough I did on my channel, which pretty sure. Okay, it wasn't the very first, because now that I think about it, I did like Call of Duty Ghosts way back in the day. But one of the earlier playthroughs I did was the first Paper Mario game, and I had to buy I bought a little cheap upscaler because I found out, I need that to actually record it. So I'm gonna hope that the game in question, the cartridge, works, and that I'm gonna have to remind myself a little bit of how to get that set up to work, because it's been a very long time since I actually recorded on my N64. We're looking at 8 years, about 7-8 years. So that would be fun for me to try and get working. Again, a thank you to Ghost Cabbit, the maker of this model. Thank you to SnowHusky, who has done VRM work for me and retextures, and a thank you to Antifreeze, who does thumbnails. I look forward to what he comes up for this one. I gave him the name of the game and everything, so he can figure out what will work. Yeah, I will see you guys in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, ciao for now. Bye.